Hello and welcome back to KeaPoint Tech Tips channel. In today's video, I will show you how to create parallel approval process in Power Automate when an item gets created in Microsoft List. So stay tuned and let's go to the demo after this short intro. I am in Office 365 landing page. From this top left navigation menu, I will click on these ellipses and I will select Microsoft List application icon. If you don't see it, you will see it under all apps. If I scroll down, the Microsoft List application icon is here. So first I will create a list and then I will create a parallel approval process using Power Automate on this list. So I will click on new list and I will select a travel request template of Microsoft List because we want to capture the travel for the company and seek approval from the manager and HR. So we want to run this parallel approval process. So I will click on travel request. I will use this template. It's showing me all the columns available for this template. I'll click on use template. I will name it company travels. So I will name it company travels. The icon is fine. The color, you can change a different color if you want. Select green one and I will save this to KeaPoint training site and I will click on create. The list is created for capturing all the travel. So if I click on the new form, I can see all the fields a person can fill in on this form and submit it. So the next thing we need to do is we need to create a Power Automate workflow to seek parallel approval. So I will click on the three ellipses and I will right click on the Power Automate application icon and I will open it in a new window. This will take me to Microsoft Power Automate homepage. From the left menu, I will click on create and I will select automated flow because I want to start this flow as soon as an item gets created in that travel request list. So I will click on automated flow. I will give it a name. I will just call it company travel approval and the trigger for this will be when an item is created in SharePoint. So this will be the same trigger we use to trigger this workflow when item get created in Microsoft List. So I will click on create. Now the first thing we need to do is we need to provide the site URL where this list exists. So it is the training site and then the name of the list is company travels. So I will select that. Now the next step I want to capture is the person who is requesting this travel. If I click on the new item, the requester will be the person who is requesting it, or you can request on someone's behalf. That person's manager needs to approve it. So if I go back to the workflow, a new step here, I need to get a user profile. So I will click on get user profile. I will rename this to get requester profile. So the person who is requesting the travel. So user principal name or email ID, I can get the requester email, pass this to this step. We got the requester profile. We need to now get the manager profile. Next step is we will need to get the manager profile of that user. So we will search for get manager and we will select get manager action. Now we will provide the principal name of the requester. So we'll search for principal and then we see the user principal name. We will select that and then we will use this to retrieve the manager. Now let me quickly rename this. I will just rename this action to get manager profile. Next step is we want to start an approval process. So I will click on next step. I will start and wait for an approval. So the first approval will be the manager approval. We'll keep it simple. Approve, reject, first to respond. That's the option we'll select. And the title will be manager approval. And the assigned to is going to be from the manager profile, the email address of that manager. So the mail, and in the detail you can see please approve my travel. This is a link to the record for that travel. So you can get a link to item and then the description for that link you can use as travel request title. So that's one approval is done. Now we want to seek an HR approval parallel to the manager approval. To do that, if I click on this plus icon here, I can add a parallel branch here rather than adding an action. So if I click on add a parallel branch, now you can see that manager approval has gone on the left and then there's another branch created here. So this one I'm also seeking approval. Start an approval process and again approve, reject, first to respond, and the title will be HR approval this time. And for the sake of this demo, I will just put myself in there. In the detail, I will say please approve my request, and again the link, I'm gonna put a link to the item, and the title for the description, I'm gonna put title of that travel record. Now we got the parallel approval process running here. So next step is we need to add a condition here to check if both manager and HR have approved it. If yes, then send one email to the requester saying that your request has been done. Otherwise, send an email to requester saying that your request has been rejected, and maybe in the email will show who rejected your request. Is it manager or the HR admin did that? So I will click on next step. I will look for condition, and I'm looking for the content, which is outcome. So the outcome of the first approval, which is manager approval. Let me rename this just for clarity. We'll call this manager approval, and then this one I will rename it to HR approval. Okay, now the condition we're gonna outcome, we'll check the outcome for the manager is equal to proof, and we're adding another row and checking if the HR approval is approved, if the outcome of the HR is approved. So again, we looking for the outcome. So this time I'm looking for the HR approval outcome. So if it's equal to approve. Now if the both approve it, it will trigger this condition, and I will send an email. Send email notification to the requester. So I will say requester email. I will say travel request is approved, and in the body I will say the same thing, travel request is approved. If one of them is reject, we're going to send a rejection email. Send an email notification. Again, this is going to requester email, and in the subject it will be rejected, travel request is rejected, and in the body will say travel request is rejected, and then we probably want to put the status of who rejected it. So we can say manager HR. So in the status we'll say manager, and then we put outcome of the manager here, and then for the HR we just put the outcome from the HR. It will be either approve or reject. Now we have done with the workflow. I will click on save. Now our company travel approval workflow is saved. If I just go back here, now I will go and create a new record here. I'll just call it trip to Paris, and the requester I'll just put myself in there. I won't put any other information for now, just for testing. Click on save. So you can see that record is created here in the list. In this Office 365 tenant, I am manager of myself, so I will be getting all the emails, even though I'm seeking a manager approval because I set up myself as my manager, so I'm getting all those emails. So I can see the workflow has started. So if I go to the email, I've got two emails, one as my manager to approve it and one as a HR approval. So if I go with HR and approve it, and then if I go as a manager and approve it as well, now I should get another email that my request has been approved. So travel request is approved. Now if I go back and create another record in there, click on new, call it trip to Scotland, and requester is myself, and click save. Now this should trigger another workflow process for this record, and this time I'm going to reject as an HR admin. Now the workflow is started for the second request. I'll click on my email, on the focus one. I can see two approvals, one is HR and one is from manager. So if I just approve the manager side and then come back on the HR side and rejects that one, before I do that, if I go to the workflow and I'll see the detail of this workflow, you can see the manager approval is done and the HR approval is waiting for. So if I just reject and submit, now you can see that the condition did not met, hence it sent the rejection email. So if I go back to my email, I should have received a rejection email. The travel request is rejected, status manager approved it but HR rejected it. So now you receive the email with the status on who rejected the request in that chain of approval process. So just wrap up this video. Today you have learned how to create parallel approval process in Power Automate and how you can attach that process to Microsoft List. So when a new item gets created in Microsoft List, it automatically initiates that approval process for you. Thank you very much for watching this video. Consider subscribing if you're new to the channel by pressing the red subscribe button below this video, and click the notification bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos as I upload new videos every week. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful. If you have any question regarding this topic or any query related to Office 365, put in the comment section below. I review my comments on the daily basis, so I will be happy to answer. Thank you.